I woke up with a fire in my soul, a vision burning bright, a goal to control. The road ahead ain't always clear, but I'm stepping forward, no room for fear. Each stair I climb, a lesson learned. From every fall, a lesson earned. The mind is a weapon, sharp and true. I'm forging ahead, there's nothing I can't do. Think and grow rich, that's the plan. With every step, I take a stand. Climbing the staircase of my dreams, fueled by the power of my schemes. Mind-focused heart on the rise. Achievement is the price I prize. Step by step I'm reaching high, tuning my mindset to touch the sky. The journey's tough, but I won't quit. I've got the drive, I've got the grit. Each level up, a new horizon, a world of possibilities in motion. I'm sharpening my thoughts, aligning my will, turning obstacles into hills I can climb still. The power of belief, it's on my side. With every breath I'm fortified. I'm not just dreaming, I'm in the fight, turning the night into the light. Think and grow rich, that's the plan. With every step I take a stand. Climbing the staircase of my dreams, fueled by the power of my schemes. Mind-focused heart on the rise. Achievement is the price I prize. Step by step I'm reaching high, tuning my mindset to touch the sky.
Well, good morning, everyone, afternoon or evening. I'm Leslie Flowers. I'm your host for Think and Grow Rich, Principles, Leadership, and Laws. And I am so glad that you're here today. I want to tell you all that I kind of forgot last Friday that Monday is the day that I spend a lot of time acknowledging. Today is the day where I teach. So last week, I kind of got messed up and spent too much time acknowledging, right? Because this is a lesson of rich content. So please forgive last week. Get ready to start right away. I'm going to put on the comments on stage so that you can see who all is here. I don't know that I'll be able to acknowledge everyone. I am so glad that you're here. Let us know where you're calling from and allow me to sing you into a song that Napoleon Hill, who authored Think and Grow Rich almost 100 years ago, and it still is the second bestseller of all times in personal development. Second only to the New Testament, which has been around a lot longer than 100 years. And a large percentage of the personal development programs and businesses created over the last 100 years were built on top of Carnegie's principles of success. People don't always tell you that's happening, but just know that if you've read or studied the book a number of times, you'll hear it as the source of many concepts, which shows that all ideas are already here. Does anybody really own them? Because they come from the ether. Ideas are not in our minds until they're handed to us. So I'm going to sing you a song that you may recognize. It's very sweet. So come on in, and then we're going to jump right into the lesson. So tell me what you think and ask questions and ask for clarifications during the lesson. Here we go. Hey, everybody. See if you know where this came from. Drop it in the comments when you recognize what musical did this come from in the 50s. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet and open air, wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, someday a time for us, time together with time to spare, time to learn, time to care. Someday, somewhere, we'll find a new way of living. We'll find a way of forgiving somewhere. There's a place for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow, someday, somewhere. Yeah, great finances. There you go. It's out of West Side Story. You're right. And let's see here if anybody else got it. Hello, Carrie. Carrie did it. Okay, we got people coming in. Fantastic. I'm loving seeing all your faces. And you'll notice that the comments are up on the screen because this is a teaching lesson. So Mondays I do Mind Over Matter Mondays, and when we talk and we learn about the concepts that we all study and we're all aspiring to learn, but it takes time. And so each guest teacher on Monday shares from their point of view, their level of awareness to see if you resonate. You know, we're all a little confused when we first hear these things, but the best part is that out of confusion comes order. So if you're a little patient and forget being frustrated about being confused, just move on to the next concept to listen to. Because if you sit in confusion while I'm teaching or you're listening to anything, you will miss what's next. Not everybody gets everything. In fact, nobody gets it all to begin with. So as we've studied, repetition is the first law of learning. You didn't know your multiplication tables after the first day that the teacher taught them, or even the second or third day. In fact, you danced around the house repeating those things 5, 10, 15, 20, and you committed them to memory. So this is the process, the biomimicry, the path from idea to manifestation. It's all done through repetition of thought. Consider that what you think, how frequently you think it, And the way you feel when you think it will absolutely exactly match your results. So no one ever really arrives at perfection, but we aspire to think positively, to be clear, to apply one thing at a time. We can't do it all at once. So by coming with me Monday, and particularly on Fridays, where I teach you the guts of Think and Grow Rich, the actual process that people have used for the last 100 years to be wealthy, happy, and healthy, and many, many multimillionaires outside of personal development have also used this. These are Carnegie's principles of success. So thank you all for being here. And let me see where we will begin. Let me just do this, see how it works. Good. Oh, that doesn't look so good. Let's go over here. There we go. So here we are. And let me turn this off temporarily here. And I want to go right here. So the first thing I want to do is extend a thanks to my good friend and also the sponsor of this show. And we'll have her on in the next couple of weeks, so we can find out why she's sponsoring this show, because she sponsors a lot of things, but why this, right, of all things? And Nicole is the creator of Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House. And right now she has a beautiful anthology that's coming up in May. And if you've always wanted to write in a book or write a book, you can start with a contributory anthology where you write one story. So if you've been thinking about it, she's done many, many anthologies. I've been in part of them, or many of them myself. She will nurture you along the way. And for those of you who may not know this yet, but once you're a bestseller, whether you're a contributing author of one chapter or you write your own book right now, you're a best-selling author. Now, we look at that as co-authors, but there's really no distinction with Amazon at this point. The point is that once you get it, it's like when you graduate high school, nobody takes that away. And once you've done it, you'll be amazed. So thank you, Nicole Ongais-Galindo, for sponsoring our show. And, oh, look, we've got people coming in. Yes, Leonard Bernstein wrote it. That is true. Says Coach Carrie. Oh my gosh, look at all the wonderful people. So it helps to have a sponsor. These things take time and effort. So let's see where we are next. All right, let's start right here. These are the mantras that we're using. Auto-suggestion, which was our subject last week, which builds faith in our beliefs, no matter whether they're positive or negative. Affirmations and reciting mantras as though you wrote them yourself, and generate them with the enthusiasm as though you're sharing these with 1,000 people in an audience. You have effectively spiked your cellular vibration. And remember, whatever you're thinking the most translates immediately into your body, into every cell. So mind is an activity in your cells. It is not brain. It is the mind that rewires the brain. It is the mind that sends signals to the body how to feel based on what we're thinking. This is a little different than what you may be hearing, because while the work of the mind has been around since before 1900, led by Thomas Troward, he was the head of what they called mental science. Nothing is in standard education for people who are getting PhDs in neuro and in psychology. I'm astounded that so many of these people don't know the distinction. And I'm waiting for the time when they will, because mind and brain are not the same. There's more. And so that's what this is all about. So let's generate these. You can do them out loud yourself. You can do them to yourself, but you want to generate them like this. I am my word. I treat every agreement, including those with myself, as I would an appointment with my most trusted and valuable colleague. I am proactive. I am the one to make sure that my scheduled calls are held on time, even if another person has said that they would call first. I am disciplined. I complete all assignments and tasks, no matter how small. And if I miss one, I complete it within 24 hours. I am focused. I do not allow an interrupt in my plans based on my values, unless there is an emergency only I can manage. Then I reset the original plan. I am motivated. I show up hungry and eager and present, even if I don't want to that day or I don't feel like it. I am trusted. I maintain strict confidence with the private information I learn in dialogue with business connections, family, and friends. And finally, I am the mirror of your greatness. I understand that the level of greatness I see in you is in exact proportion to my own. Searching for another's greatness expands my own. All right, lots of people coming in. Hi, Martha. Hi, everybody. Let me move on to the next slide. I'm so excited to have you here. All right, I think I can turn this on now so we can see each other. All right, so this is what we've done so far. These are 12-week seasons, if you will. Now, this particular one, I've been doing this. Let's see, I've done 50 2 years ago, 50 last year, and I'll do 50 this year. That's every week. And you see the repetition is so important. Plus, you can go and re-listen, right, on my page. They're featured after I do it, so you can go and listen. So the most important thing about Think and Grow Rich, this book, which is literally falling apart, that I've read over 90 times and been teaching for almost 18 years now. The most important thing when you are ready and willing to tackle this book is the introduction. If you read that 4 times, as soon as you get what definite purpose is and the power of a very specific definite purpose, you can move on. And that's why we spent 2 weeks on it, with examples of Edwin Barnes, who showed up at Edison's door without knowing him, looking like a vagrant, and put him on notice that he was going to be a partner with Edison. Edison saw something in his eyes, hired him, and 5 years later, Barnes actually became his partner. But what did he do for the 5 years to keep his dream alive? Do you remember? Who remembers? Drop it in the comments. What was it that Edwin Barnes, who wanted very much to go into business with Edison, and he finally did with the Ediphone, which is the precursor to the dictaphone, what did he do every day for 5 years as he sat at the workbench in Edison's lab to keep the dream alive? Who knows? Please put it in the comments. One word. Okay. So once you understand definite purpose, then you go to building desire. You begin to fall in love with this thing. It's the only thing that you're focused on in terms of one goal. You're still living your life, but you do feel compelled to do it. You don't really know how it's going to end up or how you're going to do it. Sometimes you don't understand why you feel this driven kind of feeling that you're the one and you have to do this, and you're going to. Nothing is going to get in your way. You've had this before. So what happens when desire, you begin to see the world through the prism of your desire. People are always talking about what you're interested in. They're not really, but that's a different thought frequency. It's a very high vibration. So when you're in a room with people that are on that frequency, then you can hear them across a room of bunches of people, because thoughts are all here already. And they're on different frequencies based on their vibration. And I know you know enough about this. I'm no expert at this, but I have experienced setting an intention before I go into a networking meeting, such as, I want to meet one person who can help me along my way with this goal. One powerful intention that you're in love with. And you will find that person, because there will be someone in that room. It's like two tuning forks. That's the best way I can describe it. So once you're falling deeply in love with it, I use 12 weeks to reach a goal. You can use as many as you want or as few as you want. 12 is about how long, or the shortest period that you can actually have complete faith in your ability and deservability of achieving that goal, the one you've never done before, or the one you've failed at. When you complete the goal, you have built faith in your ability and deservability. But prior to that, you may have failed, or we all have 6 basic fears. And this one would be probably we failed and we don't want to say anything because of the fear of criticism or judgment, not only from other people, but ourselves. So there's always this battle. So to build faith in your own ability and deservability when there's doubt already there takes a little courage. You have to be ready and willing. And we do this all through autosuggestion over the 12 weeks, or however many weeks. You do a task every couple of days toward that. You meet with an accountability partner. This program is not just about Think and Grow Rich. It also brings in the 8 essentials of performance and achievement. My hybrid signature program that I ran for 65 business quarters, and 500 12-week goals were set and achieved using this program. Everybody has a hybrid program. So we are going to look at something about leadership today, and we'll be looking at universal laws, and we'll be looking at the mind as well. And so through autosuggestion, self-suggestion. Oh, let me see if anybody put the word in. Did anybody get the word? Okay, so let's see. I'm looking to see, what was it that Edwin Barnes did as he sat at his workbench? I'm looking to see. Okay, we're back to What in the West Side Story. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Oh, Elizabeth, you knew that. Okay, so you were the first one, because I think that you were first. Anyway, waiting for the one word that is the DNA of manifestation. You've heard me say it. What is it that you did when you wanted to go to college, when you were in high school? And you thought about it and thought about it and thought about, what were you doing on the screen of your mind? Okay, and today we get into imagination. I'll watch for the answer. Okay, very important, that particular thing. So let's see what's next. I've got a list here. Let's see. Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. We have just reviewed weeks 1 to 5 briefly, right? This is linear. If you're new to this, go back and listen to the introduction, the first one. So we briefly reviewed weeks 1 to 5, and today we're going to take a look at where you are in your own leadership journey. Because applying what you're learning here is very important, because people are emulating you all the time. All right. Yes, I see the 12-week year. They got it all from me. No, 12 weeks is nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. It is the sweet spot for creating faith in one thing if you're following the process of transmutation of radiant energy. That's one of the 7 universal laws. And all it is that thought energy, the idea you get, turning into physical form. How do you do it? It's alchemy, which surprises me, because how do people that don't know about the mind, how can they perform alchemy without knowing? I don't know. Anyway, hi, everybody. So glad. Hi, Chirito. So that's what we're doing. Let's start here. Now, this is your assessment. Are you gaining traction? So today, I'm going to ask you these questions and just give yourself a number. You don't have to put it in the comments. You can. That'll drive up the comments, right? Which always looks good. But on a scale of 1 to 10, knowing that you'll never be a constant 10, ever, we aspire to grow in our leadership. But do we ever actually reach a point? No. We're growing or disintegrating in our thinking and understanding, and that's the law of vibration, of which the law of attraction is a subset. So the first thing I want you to do is you're evaluating yourself as a leader. Are you aspiring and doing this more? Give yourself a number from 1 to 10. When you get an idea, do you start right away, regardless of what else has to be done for this? Or do you wait? So where are you? Do you start right away, regardless of your circumstances, time, money, location? Where would you be? Successful people start right away, regardless of their circumstances. Start right now. Because they know you don't need a dime to start. All you need to do is take 2 steps. And the minute you do, you've shadowed fear. And that fear is really the hardest when you begin, because there's a lot of reasons why we can't do it, right? So when we take a couple of steps and we start right away, we're in action. And that will hush the fears. Now they'll be back. But there are none so strong as when you first get a wild idea, right? To talk yourself out of doing it for a whole lot of reasons. I'm too old. What if I get sick? I don't have any money. I don't have enough money. It's going to cost too much. I've failed at something like this before. I'm not sticking my neck out again. That's what's going on from your subconscious. Those are your 6 basic fears expressing themselves as, some people call this your saboteur. I'm learning about applied positive psychology. Okay, so what was your number? All right, so if you're a 10, that means it's a habit for you now. You don't even have to think about it. Okay. All right, focus. Now, do you find yourself focusing on how you're going to do a thing, or more why you're doing it? So what number is that for you? Because once you know these numbers here, you can take this assessment again and again and actually watch yourself grow. I do recommend that you pick one at a time to work on, because this will be added to your character. So do you focus on how you will do it or why? So we do know that why is part of your definite purpose and desire, and you don't know how. So it makes logical sense to aspire to focus on service and your why, doesn't it? Do you stand in the face of adversity for what you believe in? Or do you keep quiet and not stick your neck out? Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you do it half the time? You do it 25% of the time? Sometimes I want to say something angry about the politics on Instagram, and I don't do it. There are a lot of other people doing it. So for me, I would say I'm at about a 40%. I'm a chicken. I don't want to get in trouble. So that's my fear, right? But where are you? It matters where you are. Do you lean toward an abundant mindset or a poverty mindset? When you want to go do something, is the first thing out of your mouth, I can't afford it? You're still over in the poverty mindset. You don't need 1 penny to start on your goal. Not one. And as I said, if you start right away, you're in action. That vibration is actually, through the law of vibration, is bringing to you people and opportunities that match that vibration, which is feeling good. The reverse is also true. How's everybody doing? A 5 for you? Excellent. Okay, so you see what's going on here. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, do you have a mentor, a coach, an accountability, or mastermind? Now, have you started one? Do you have one of them? One is okay. You could have several. Are you in the process of? So where are you on this? Are you good? Are you up at a 9 or 10 because you have this in place? And if not, maybe this is the one you want to work on. Whichever one you decide to work on, it's your choice. It doesn't have to be the hardest one. You can start with the easiest one. You're in charge. Were you a good follower? Did you surrender to a leader ever? Because as a leader, how would you know what the followers are feeling if you've never been that follower? It's a thought. So where are you there? Are you more about winning your point to be right? Or are you looking to add information and come up with a new solution? Okay. Is failure now becoming learning for you? Is it a habit yet that when you see the word failure, the label, that it already has changed into learning, which is its polar opposite, which is always available, and that's the law of polarity. So we've hit 3 laws. We've hit the transmutation of radiant energy. That's when you get an idea and you manifest it into physical form. It's a process that has steps that you can, once you know the steps, you can be, do, or have anything you want as long as you don't violate the rights of other people. I'm checking the time. We're doing very well. Do certain words still trigger you? In other words, I remember my friend 𝗙𝗛𝗂𝗓 told me some time ago that when I used the word obsessive, it triggered him, because what obsessive means to some people it may bring up something from our fears. It could even be religion. So use compelling, use objective words to shut down that trigger. So where are you in this? Are you pretty good with it? Or are you still struggling with certain words? You pick one word at a time, and you have to do this over time. You can write stickies, you can do all sorts of things. It doesn't take up your whole life, but it has to be focused and repetitive in spaced intervals over time, just like you learn your multiplication tables. And are you making decisions more quickly now? If you understand definite purpose, then you know that anything that shows up to interrupt you, you can ask the question, if I do this thing, is it going to take me directly to my goal or not? To my definite purpose or not? And if it doesn't, you must say, I will not right now. And anybody that wants to work with you, all you have to do is tell them, I'm not available right now, but could we talk about this again in about 3 weeks? I really am interested. They're going to say yes or no. Okay. That is the beginning of your leadership assessment. Whatever you felt today, check in with yourself at the end. Give yourself a few weeks. Take a screenshot, right? Whatever it is, so that you can watch yourself grow in conscious awareness. That's how you know. The idea is to make all of these habits automatic, where you don't even think about it, and your character level of integrity and your leadership will grow like gangbusters. I promise you. Okay. All right. Now we need to get back into the mind, and this is a little simpler. Okay. Excellent, Carrie. Excellent. Yes. Is it in alignment with your goal? Right. You got one goal. Is that opportunity that you've been invited to or you've found out of curiosity, is it going to take you to the current goal or not? You have to be strong. This is a boundary moment where you say, you know what? Boy, this sounds really great. But I have to say no for now. But if anything changes, right? Or can we talk again? So it doesn't mean, it's kind of like, have you ever gone for a job and you didn't get it? I guess we all have. But you were really like in the running. Listen, very often that person who got the job doesn't work out. How many times have you been called when that person backs out because you were number two? No doesn't mean no forever. So don't give up. All right. So here we have two minds. Okay. Their activities. Basically, what you're thinking affects your cellular vibration and how you're feeling. That vibration communicates with the universe, and you will attract to you whatever you need to achieve what it is you want. Good or bad, has to be intentional, and you have to be thinking about this. Now, the conscious mind is the one we're using right now. And you'll see the little antenna here. I don't know if this will show, but the little antenna here is how information comes in through our five senses. Everybody has this. But what you don't know, and people that are traditionally trained, is that there's more there in the thinking mind. And this is what we're developing. They're mental muscles. They are spiritual warriors because we only hold one thought at a time. Here's where we can cut off the negative thought if we catch it. But honestly, we have 6,000 complete thoughts, ideas, or thoughts that come into our mind every day. 6,000. 50,000 broken thoughts, like parts of ideas. So who's standing guard? No one. You must develop these intellectual faculties to be strong enough. They grow in direct proportion to their use, just like any muscle. So we're doing this. I'm doing this with you, but I want to show you what these are as I quickly check the time. So you have 6 spiritual warriors, and they protect your conscious mind. And today we're looking at imagination. No, it's imagination. I guess the graphic was moved over a little bit, or the font is too big, but you get it. So there are 6 of them. And today we're looking at imagination, which is the workshop of the mind. But also there's a muscle for each one of these: perception, how you view things. The minute you learn something new, your view changes. It gets bigger. And yet we argue about being right when our perception and our point of view is always changing. Imagine a world where you don't argue about who's right or wrong, but you collaborate and create better solutions, right? So intuition resides in your conscious mind. When you say you have a gut feeling, that is coming from your conscious mind, not your subconscious. Intuition, it is understood by many, is your connection to the universe. This is where, if you believe that God is within each of us, this is where he is, or she, or they, however you look at it. You know this because there's a whisper with intuition, but with fear in our subconscious mind, it's a loud cacophony. So only one thought can maintain in one moment. So which ones are the most persistent? How do they make you feel? Then look at your results. So intuition is powerful. All of these 6 mental muscles will keep you very clear and focused on your goal, and you will be able to kick out ideas before they get to the subconscious. So today we have imagination and also memory. We have 100% perfect memory. We can resurrect our memory. In fact, it is the bad memories that we continue to resurrect that build faith in our fears. Then reason, the ability to reason. Any one of these, if you haven't developed them, they atrophy. They're no good. So they don't help. So you want to go and do something, and your fears say, bad idea, Leslie. Don't you remember when you tried this before? It's not a good thing to do. Reason is not going to help you. Reason is going to say, that's right, Leslie. You did fail at that. So it's no help unless you develop them. And then will or focus and concentration. This is the biggest complaint my clients have had over 20 years. And it's no wonder with the sensory overload and the wonderful things that we're bombarded with every day. Opportunities, good, bad, indifferent. So once you develop these, they stand guard. This allows you to be an agile thinker. It allows you to pick different perceptions depending on the context. You're a fluid thinker, but unfortunately, most people only use about 5% of this. Not us, but most people. So what happens is through repetition, whether you're paying attention or not, regardless of the vibration, through repetition, those ideas impress into the subconscious, which is not thinking. It's non-thinking, it's reactive, it's the triggers, it's the expression of fear, and which is the first thing that usually comes up when you go to do something new or that you failed at. So right away, your conscious mind is a loser. The way that you build faith in the things you failed at is by doing things that you failed at effectively and completing them. And so in the subconscious mind, you're emotional. It's a ratchety kind of vibration. It's most often very negative. You don't feel good. You stub your toe. You trip. You're not focused. You're allowing your automatic, or some people call them automatic or ants, whatever, automatic negative thoughts. They operate about 95% of the time. So, but, God gave us conscious awareness. We're the only animal that has that. We have the ability to intentionally mimic natural processes once we learn how they work and achieve whatever we want. But he didn't make it easy. He didn't put a pot of gold at each one of our feet, did he? So over in the subconscious mind for decades, since you were little, 6 or 7, when you began to develop a conscious mind, when you're a baby, when you're born, you have no conscious mind. So everything you hear just dumps right into the subconscious and it lives like the truth. So there's some work that has to be done. And it's so much fun. And it's so exhilarating once you get this stuff. So imagination, the workshop of the mind. And now I better scoot right along here. All right. So let me just turn this off for 1 minute. Now we want to blend these 6 together because as a force, they stand guard and deflect anything that is of the lower vibration. It's your points of view, your hunches. There are 2 kinds of imagination, creative and synthetic, and I'll explain the difference in a minute. You've got memory, reason, and will, focus, or concentration. Let me see what you said here, my dear Kimberly. Or I should say the frightened part of our personality if we're triggered. Yes, that's exactly right. It's simple. It's that simple. You see, once you get this, once you see what's going on here, and that only one thought prevails in any given moment, the first thing for you to do is become aware, well, what is triggering me? Why do I feel bad? That's the first step. And then when you understand what the 6 basic fears are, oh, baby, you can hit one of them after the other. You'll never be perfect. Those old fears do not go away, but they get quiet. Because what you've done is things that you didn't believe you could do. Now you have perfect faith in your own ability and your deservability. So you must counter what is already there. And yes, Bobby Lee, the conscious mind occurs at about 6 or 7. So you're right. And some even say in utero that babies can hear. They sense when parents are fighting. It is said that music when you're pregnant is wonderful because the baby can hear it. It's all about vibration. All right. So briefly, imagination. This is the story of the enchanted kettle out of Think and Grow Rich. This is all about the power of imagination. Has anybody come up with the word yet? The word is, yes, Jocelyn, if you don't take action, fear takes over. But when you take action, it gets quieter. So whenever you get fearful, take another step toward what you want, because it puts you back into the conscious awareness and your why you're doing this. Okay. So the word is visualization. Visualizing your goal in full color as though you already have it is the DNA for manifestation. It spikes your vibration, and you do this every other day. Purposely visualize a minute or so of what it's like to already have what you want. That is what Barnes did, waiting 5 years. That's what you did. This is what children do. When they want the new banana seat or the new pair of skates, that's all they think about. They dream about it. They imagine themselves riding around with their friends, right? So because their fears are not as strong or well established yet. Of course, they're going to get them. There's no doubt about it. But we've had our fears for decades, all our life. They all begin with an originating incident, probably between 6, 7, 8 years old, most of them. And every time we want to go and do that thing that we failed at, our memory, which is 100% able to come back into the present, does so. And with it, it brings that low, lousy feeling, and you don't take action. So this is the story of this old doctor 100 years ago who wanted to retire and pay off his bills. So one day, he drove his horse and buggy to the local drugstore. In his cart, he had a cauldron, a paddle, a big cauldron, like the one you see on the right, a paddle, and something written on a piece of paper. And he arrived at the drugstore and went in and was having a conversation with the druggist. The doctor intended to sell the cauldron, the paddle, and what was on the paper to the druggist to get enough money to pay off his bills and retire. That was his goal. In a few minutes, the druggist reached in his pocket and pulled out a wad of bills, $500, his life savings, and handed it to the doctor. The doctor gave him, left the cauldron, they brought it in, and the paddle. Who knows what was written on that piece of paper? The imagination behind what was in that on that paper, that recipe, has changed the world. It was the recipe for Coca-Cola. This is where Napoleon Hill gathered with these other people on their dates. Now, back then, there was cocaine, I think, in there too, right? But anyway, they all met there for their social engagements, and that's where he and his wife met. So think about what Coca-Cola has done in the world and still does. Jobs everywhere. People in glass bottling, through wars, everything. So imagination, the idea of coming up with a solution like this or a product like this was only an idea, but they dreamt about it. The purpose was for the druggist to grow his business, but he didn't know how it was going to do. All he did was mixed up the stuff and people started coming, as you see. Very powerful. Let me just see if I've done this. Okay. Well, one thing I want to tell you here. There's two kinds of imagination. One is creative, when you get an idea out of the blue and you go, where did that come from? But boy, do I like it. And then there's synthetic imagination. All the things that you've been through, all the lessons you've learned. So when you get a wild idea, immediately, that's creative imagination. Like, where did that come from? But synthetic imagination, which is conscious, immediately starts to put together the pieces. Now, you don't know all the pieces, but you can feel your own self thinking, okay, I could do this. Well, I do know this person, right? There's a way to take a step or two. So you have creative, which is a gift from God. And then the synthetic, your job to take everything you know to this point to build out that idea. But you still don't know exactly. But you got enough to get going, certainly to take a couple steps and outweigh that fear. Now, here's what's happening. Imagination and visualization are critical for manifestation. So the first thing that happens, and this is your mind and your body, okay? So here's the process of transmutation of radiant energy. When you turn thought energy and idea into physical matter over time, like an alchemist, like Merlin the magician, only it takes time. It's not with a flash of fire, right? This works. So you get this wild creative idea. You start to see it and visualize it as in present tense, as though you already have it. You're not looking at the house you want to buy. You're walking around in it, because that jacks up the vibration of your five senses: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. It brings all that together and raises your cellular vibration. You're in love. You're inside the house that you said you're going to buy, that you want to buy. You have no idea how you're going to do it, how much it's going to cost, but you know what it's like to be there and to hold it. And that is what raises your vibration. Remember, what you want is moving toward you with the same amplitude of vibration or frequency that you're moving toward it. So you actually attract. So if you're, well, I'm not going to go into that part. Okay, so now you start to notice that you're feeling really good. And all this is happening, the seed plants in your mind and sets that vibration. Then you do this every 2 or 3 days, and the vibration causes you to take action. And finally, you hold the idea in your hand. So you're the one who's responsible. So you got to be ready and willing. You got to have a compelling, driving kind of idea that you don't know how to do, that you might have failed at, but that you're compelled to do it. Like there's something within you. That is your intuition. That is the higher side of you saying, this is it. Now, let me just go on. I hope everybody's enjoying this. I just need to keep going. There's a little bit more to show. All right. Here's a very fun thing and a good example of creative and synthetic imagination. Let me see if I can do this way. Yep.
𝗙𝗏𝗚 communications inbound. Prepare for astral travel.
Welcome to 𝗙𝗏𝗚. Come, astral traveler, and explore the endless possibilities within 𝗙𝗏𝗚. Why not adventure into the heart of our town and allow yourself the opportunity to indulge in our shops, boutiques, candy shop, pubs, with a mesmerizing garden and soothing fountains to ease those thoughts, located at the center of our market. After all that bustling about from your shopping day, come check out and stay at the luxurious intergalactic 5-star recognized Hotel 𝗟𝗏𝗘. Have your taste buds tantalized with their signature dish, roast wild beasts, then quench your thirst with their crisp, refreshing ale and spirits. Just look at those big inviting beds and very spacious bathrooms. The next day, why not dive deep within the fascinations held in our underground facility to unveil new discoveries? Have your mind and senses blown away in our enchanting wind tunnels. With love in the air, let romance flourish within the flowery oasis of our truffle hills. Come, journey back into 𝗟𝗏𝗘 history by strolling down the hillsides into the quaint historical landmark of our first settlement, still inhabited with the legacy of spirits who gave themselves selflessly to pioneer the honored traditions we carry today. Submerge yourself in the cultural cuisine and folklore by staying a night in the town's cozy and peaceful bed and breakfast, where you can rejuvenate, waking the next day to feel that warm embrace from the locals. Feeling that need to just get away for more calm serenity? Why not take a walk to our shimmering waterways where you and your family can build lasting memories, with kayaks available to slip smoothly through the glass-like water. Just when you think you've finished exploring the endless possibilities here in 𝗟𝗏𝗘, make sure to take in our regenerative luminous sunset, and if you're lucky enough, a possibility to catch an interstellar baseball game on the starry night. So, don't hesitate. Act today. Book your travel arrangements. Adventure into a whole new world of undiscovered fantasies.
Astral tunnel now closed. End broadcast communications.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, I think I got it right. Here we go. Okay. So what you just looked at was an example of both creative and synthetic imagination. Now, very briefly, let me tell you that in 2024, my first fiction, fantasy fiction, was published, and it's about another planet. And many of you know about the possibility of 𝗟𝗏𝗘. And I worked creating a big trailer with Aaron Gibson, Soul Media Live Productions. And the fun we had creating a world where virtues, values, and soul-kissing love were what we were all about. And for fun, one day I said to Aaron, I said, why don't we do an old commercial and get people to come by astral travel to 𝗟𝗏𝗘 for a vacation with their family? And that's all I had to say. So once you begin with this very high vibration, there is so much that's possible for you. It's all done through visualization. It's done through a high vibration, and it's done through deep service. I hope you enjoyed that. Next week, we're going to do week 7. I suggest that you read Decision. It's the Mastery of Procrastination. Do you think that procrastination is the worst human habit? It was for me. Could decision alleviate our leaning toward procrastination? And I'll tell you, there is one simple question that can move you from procrastination to decision. Wait till you see it. Now we're going to do a 2-minute visualization, which means we're going over by a couple of minutes, but we've got to lock in these spiritual warriors, particularly the one of imagination. So everybody, you're looking at, let me just see here. I'll make myself small here. And this is you know what? I don't know if I can actually make this move. So, because I've changed things around a little bit, but here we go. Everybody get centered for just a minute. Get comfortable. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. And let your shoulders soften and exhale. This will only take a minute and it'll set the context for the rest of your day and weekend. Let your attention settle into your body as if you're arriving home after a long journey. Now imagine you're standing on a quiet path in early spring. The air is cool, sweet, and alive with the scent of new leaves. A light rain falls, soft, warm droplets that feel like tiny blessings on your skin. Nothing harsh, nothing urgent, just a gentle rhythm like the earth whispering. As you breathe, feel two currents within you. First, creative imagination, the wild, playful force that invents dreams and transforms. It glows like a bright, shifting color in your chest. The next current, synthetic imagination, the wise, integrative force that connects ideas, patterns, and meanings. It feels like a steady, luminous thread weaving through your mind. With each breath, these two currents begin to harmonize. They don't compete. They collaborate. They make you whole. Now picture a figure standing beside you, your spiritual warrior of imagination. This is not a warrior of conflict, but of clarity, creativity, and inner freedom. They carry no weapons. Their power is presence, insight, and the courage to imagine beyond limits. The spring rain falls on both of you, washing away dullness, doubt, and mental noise. What remains is vividness, possibility, a sense of brightness. Place your hand over your heart physically or in your mind and say silently, my imagination is a living force within me, creative and synthetic, united and awake. Feel that truth settle into your body like warm rain soaking into the soul. Take one more slow breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let the spring scene fade gently like the mist lifting from a field. Bring your awareness back to the room, carrying the clarity and brightness within you. That completes today. On Monday, we have 𝗙𝗏𝗡𝗏 as our guest teacher on Mind Over Matter Mondays. In March, the 21st and 22nd. I think it's the 20th and the 21st. The virtual wellness experience. Head over to Creative Living Ideas to find out all about it. And that completes today. I'm going to play the outro, send you on your way for a beautiful weekend. I have so appreciated all of you being here, and I will come back and I will respond to each one of you once I've had lunch. And I wish you a fabulous weekend and happy Valentine's Day.
I woke up with fire in my soul, a vision burning bright, a goal to control. Road ahead ain't always clear, but I'm stepping forward, no room for fear. Each stair I climb, a lesson learned. From every fall, a lesson earned. The mind is a weapon, sharp and true. I'm forging ahead, there's nothing I can't do. Think and grow rich, that's the plan. With every step, I take a stand. Climbing the staircase of my dreams, fueled by the power of my schemes. Mind-focused heart on the rise. Achievement is the price I prize. Step by step, I'm reaching high, tuning my mindset to touch the sky. The journey's tough, but I won't quit. I've got the drive, I've got the grit. Each level up, a new horizon, a world of possibilities in motion. I'm sharpening my thoughts, aligning my will, turning obstacles into a hills I can climb still. The power of belief, it's on my side. With every breath I'm fortified, I'm not just dreaming, I'm in the fight.